Hello, people. Welcome to the first episode of our podcast. You got your boy Alex Lavaboy, Majidinho14. What up, what up, what up? We're starting this podcast. We're going to be talking about political issues, societal issues, shit that interests people, some would you rather questions. And this is only episode 1. We don't have everything completely set up, but hopefully we'll get our shit together and we're just going to see how it goes. So, first question for you, Alexander Denasso / Alex Lavaboy. Would you rather the aliens that make first contact be robotic or organic?
Organic. I think it would be way cooler to see other, not humans, but living creatures instead of electric ones, because it would bug me out. And I'd probably think that we actually did live in a simulation if all of a sudden the first aliens were robotic, or it would be, I don't know, man. Fuck.
I don't disagree, but I also don't agree.
So, why would you want to see, why would you possibly want to see robotic aliens first instead of organic?
To be honest, I don't give a fuck.
It's the fucking stupidest thing you've ever.
I didn't come up with it.
Yeah, fuck this site. Keep going, see if there's anything else that's good.
Okay, I'm gonna do 5 and you do 5. You read 5 and I 5. Would you rather lose ability to read or lose ability to speak?
Speak. I feel like people would find you mad mysterious. I never shut the fuck up, bro. It would teach me so many lessons if I could never.
But at the
speak.
same time, you never read.
Yeah, but bro, a menu, fucking software stuff on your iPhone, everything. Plus, we're moving into the virtual world at this point. So much of our communication is through text anyway, and you'd find other ways to be able to speak without using your mouth.
All right. What would you rather be covered in fur or scales? Who the fuck gives a shit? Would you rather be in jail for a year?
Scales.
Would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year of your life? Off your life. Same shit.
A year off my life, bro.
Yeah, honestly, that's obvious. All right, next 5. You.
All right. Let's see.
You wanna just take it off the keyboard so it's easier?
Fuck it.
Everything good takes time. Repeat that.
Would you rather know the history of every object you ever touched or be able to talk to animals?
I would rather know the history because, what the fuck are animals gonna do for me? What? They're gonna tell me who molested who, and then I'm gonna tell the court, yeah, this animal told me the truth, but the animal can't speak to them, so.
What?
So what was the other option? The history of every people.
No. Any object you touched, you know the history. Can we go?
I touched this and what? I know the history of this wall.
Yeah.
But what this wall has seen or what it's been through.
No, just the history of it. When it was made, who made it, just all the history. But
okay, then I'd rather be talking to animals.
Because animals would tell you who abused someone. Is that what you said?
No, theoretically, if somebody did a murder and I gotta take one of you out. Theoretically, if somebody did a murder, the animal would see it, but the person wouldn't give a shit about animal seeing. But if I said, okay, this animal told me the truth about this case, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. But why did your first thought go to be a detective with animals?
Because I'm just trying to relate it to bringing it to humans. For my personal satisfaction, okay, yeah, I'd like to talk to animals, but what am I gonna get out of it? What if I talk to a bear and he's just a straight up dickhead? You think they're cute and they understand you, but he just tells you to fuck off in his language. So.
Yeah, I guess. But also, I was just thinking, animals don't have the same consciousness as us, or they wouldn't necessarily be able to relate to they don't have the same levels of consciousness. So there's a possibility that you'd be able to talk to them and you'd be like, so what's good? And he'd just be like, food. Like not know what the fuck. Like,
yeah, like dogs. Dogs probably.
that's what I'm saying.
Like maybe not your dog, but
yeah.
your dog would be like plenty food.
Alright. Would you rather be married to a 10 with a bad personality or a 6 with an amazing personality?
I'd go.
Your answer.
Honestly, I'd go for an 8 with the average personality. But honestly, that's such a fucking like I don't like fuck that question. You know why? Because I'm gonna end up with a 9 with a 12 personality. So like that question doesn't apply to me.
Plus,
it's like saying, would you rather fuck your mom or kill your dad? No answer.
You guys know, don't you?
No, they don't. Nobody knows. I mean,
bro,
maybe it's fucked up people.
You don't know the answer to that question.
Can we skip to the fucking next question? Like and subscribe now. Okay.
Okay, would you rather spend the rest of your life with a sailboat as your home or an RV as your home?
Sailboat. Because your sister did it.
What are you trying to say, mate?
What are you trying to say?
I don't know, I'm asking you.
I don't know, it just seems like a cooler lifestyle.
To always be on a sailboat?
For the rest of your life?
Yeah, versus being an RV as your home? RV, obviously.
Yeah, actually, I changed my mind. Would you rather be the first person to explore a planet or be the inventor of a drug that cures a deadly disease?
Deadly disease one.
¿Por qué, amigo? Imagine being the George Columbus.
Christopher.
of like a planet that we don't know. And it could be the new Earth, just to put some perspective to it. Or be the inventor to a drug that cures fucking corona, mate.
Bro, I would...
Fucking bang, are you gonna cure corona? Drink 6.
I would 100% cure cancer.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, actually it would suck to explore a fucking dead-ass planet by
yourself.
yourself.
Exactly. What if you showed up on like something like Mars and you're just like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
There's a trace of water.
And then getting your dick sucked by fucking Hugh Hefner bitches because you cured cancer. Would you rather go back to age 5 with everything you know, or know now everything your future self will learn?
Wait, repeat the second one.
Would you or know everything your future self will learn?
For personal reasons, I'd go back to age 5. Because I would be able to help my family enormously.
And you will be able to discover Facebook and Google. Bitcoin. Would you rather be able to control animals, not humans, with your mind, or control electronics with your mind? That's a good question.
Electronics.
I was about to say, like a random thought. Electronics?
Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do controlling animals? Like, just try and take
fucking
control and
take down Trump.
Electronics is much easier.
With a bunch of dickhead bears. Just not too interesting or too appealing for our audience, whoever the fuck they are. So I'm gonna get into some, like shit we can really get into depth to talk about. So this is not as controversial as the next shit we're gonna talk about, but so I feel as if, and I'm pretty sure most people.
I think so. It's coming. Back at it. Back at it again with the white vans.
So yeah, obviously Corona and shit was like a tough time for everybody.
It
still is. Although restrictions have been eased recently.
Stupidly.
And yeah, but at least a good cause is coming out of some of it, like BLM and all the protests and shit. And by the way, like Alex probably knows more about politics than me. I like to speak out of my soul and my brain most of the time. But anyway, so like I feel as if we're socially more disciplined and like, we appreciate more appreciative of our lives now, and like because we've been like going through such shit. Everyone was depressed, you know, like or most people were depressed. You were out in Bahamas living it up, but most people were like stuck in a box and not being able to do shit, not being able to see people. And I think it really gives you like a sense of appreciative to just life in general. Like even me, like I was stuck smoking weed and shit, not doing fuck all. Then two weeks before I came here, restrictions started getting eased off in London, and I started really appreciating like talking to other human beings, you know. And there's not really much of a question or controversy. Just if you want to add something, then go for it.
Well, first of all, not to be like Million Man Marching, but I don't think BLM came from Corona. I think either way it would have. Obviously, it's been around.
But I actually, in a way, I don't think there would have been such as a big as explosion if there wasn't Corona, because like it happens all the time. But like,
I know.
Something happened, something clicked to make people like outraged. Like the outrage would have happened either way, but like something happened to like where a huge movement.
It definitely spread it up because everyone was just so fed up. Well, not everyone, not the fuckheads, but everyone was so fed up. And then all this stuff kept happening, and it just was people who were, you know, suffering so much from like all this
the minorities in America.
Yeah, and you know,
Corona.
like they're not only Corona, they're also losing the ability to afford so many things and all that. Like it just took a huge hit on so many people's lives, and will continue to. So yeah, it definitely brought that out quicker. But obviously, I do believe, well, hopefully, I'd like to believe that it would have come out this year anyway, in the way that it did. I know that like I, you know, was enormously educated by all of this, because if I hadn't been,
but either way, we should be glad that it happened. There.
Oh, 100%. That's not even useless to mention almost, but like, I know that like if I hadn't been educated, I would have probably just kept going the way I was going, thinking that me always trying to be as supportive as possible and all that was enough, and not realizing how much, like, for example, I mean, I'm white, I'm probably one of the most privileged people in the world as a white male, and I just know that despite the fact that I like to think I'm a good human, I was so quickly educated on how much we are needed to change like the whole view of all the, or not even the view, just the whole way that systematic racism works. And you know, it can't come from the people who are being oppressed, and basically in not standing with the oppressed, you're just standing against them and hurting them more, which is something that, you know, was very educational, despite the fact that, like, obviously I knew about it, but I didn't realize to what extent I needed to speak up, and I'm still trying to do that. It's very difficult from Europe while I'm quarantined. But yeah, no, so back to what you were actually saying. I didn't go out at all, and I still haven't gone out. You're the first person that I've seen since quarantine. So yeah, I was in Bahamas. We got stuck there. It was amazing. We were on an island, pretty much by ourselves, and it was incredible. I became like an island boy, like cracking coconuts and shit, and just living that kind of way. But then we had to come back because, you know, family reasons.
To Switzerland.
Yeah, back to Switzerland. But I have not seen a single person, despite the fact that so many of my friends are around and all that, because it's just way too risky for my family. And there's just no way that I'm risking that. And obviously, to the people watching, Matt should. And I got corona tested. He has been staying apart while we were waiting for the corona results. And now we're finally in the clear. But there was no way he would have been able to stay in my house if he weren't. But so I haven't reaped the benefits of being like, you know, being able to come out and be more appreciative, because this has just like made it like almost more stressful to realize how people don't give a shit about each other, and you see that through.
I think it's a bit of not giving a shit and also being uneducated.
Yeah, it's both, because which is the same thing with the Black Lives Matter thing. so many people, now that they even are educated, still don't put nearly as much effort as they should. As like in Switzerland, for example, you know, we're walking around and we're the only people with masks on, and
but not we're just to tell them we're in Vevey, which is a small town, like an hour or two away
small
from
city
Geneva.
in an hour away from Geneva.
So they're like, even like, I don't know if I should say this on. I mean, I don't know if it's right for me to say this in general, but like, I'm sure in the big town they're more secure.
How so? You mean they're taking more precautions?
Yeah.
Not one bit, bro.
Really? In Geneva they're not?
Oh no. All the kids are partying together and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're gonna spread it to their parents, someone's gonna go see their grandparents, and you know, people only, like I said, it's the same thing with the whole Black Lives Matter movement. People only seem to give a shit when it affects them directly.
I don't know if they know that though, but I have seen on Instagram, CNN, so it is technically a reliable source, that there is like an over-the-tablet thing that you can get to help it, and then there is a more intense new medicine that they have to, I think, like a 30% chance of helping fighting the disease.
Yeah, but it's the issue then is the spread of the disease, because eventually it just has that snowball effect where it's going to hit eventually one by one to 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000. It's going to reach people that can't find that medication and can't get to that medication. So people in town, you know.
And also, not disagreeing with you, but just to help that as well, like, since the hospitals in every single country have, or just the healthcare systems in all the countries have had to deal with like trying to oversupply because there's been an over amount of like people having corona and dying. I feel like now, since the first wave has happened, they're more prepared for the second wave.
Once again, you know,
like I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but I'm just to help the situation a little bit.
Well, I mean, we'll see if there is a second wave. It really depends. It depends how quickly governments react if there is a second wave, and also, you know, like I said before, the whole shutting down finance can completely ruin lives. So it's just this constant like contradiction, and people don't know how to go about it because they have to keep job security because so many people are living day by day salaries, and you know they don't know when they're going to get their next meal. Thankfully, we're not in that position.
Okay. Well, to add on, sorry, not to add on that, but Manchester City just scored, and for those viewers who are interested in football and Premier League in particular, if they didn't score, then Liverpool would have won the Premier League.
That's not true. They had to win yesterday. It was a 0-0.
Oh shit, they drew. Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, so the Premier League is back. Champions League is going to be back soon. It's kind of crazy to think that the final, first of all, every single stage of like quarterfinals, semifinals, whatever, it's not 2 legs anymore. It's going to be 1 leg now. So it's going to be like the World Cup, which is dope to see just for 1 year. Maybe they could change it for future, but like, see, like it's kind of like the George Floyd situation in a way, because they're forced into changing it. Like just like in a small like.
Bro.
Just let me finish.
Easy with your words.
Let me finish, bro. What do you mean? I'm not saying anything dissing anybody.
Okay.
I'm just comparing the boost of like somebody of like an impact.
Okay.
Nothing to do with racism. So calm your fucking tits.
Yo.
I'm chill. I'm just saying like
making sure.
I'm letting the audience know. I'm okay.
Okay.
So don't like switch back. Okay, sorry, the camera cut off for a quick second, but I was just saying that like I think one of the most important things in my mind, or like just what my motives in general, is that just gotta, like, I was lazy my whole life and shit. I only started trying to change and trying to work hard like in the past couple of years, and I think just always trying to adapt and trying to be comfortable with being uncomfortable is one of the most important things to do for somebody in a similar situation as me, which I know like not most of the world, but like a large part.
Very small.
No, what do you mean? A lot of people have problems with working. Anybody who...
Oh, in that regard.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying being open to change?
I can't believe that... Sorry guys, I have ADHD. I'm still saying that I made a good point, but it went from Premier League to Champions League to that, which is crazy, but that's why podcasts are cool, you know? So going back to do you want to add anything?
I don't know what the fuck you were talking about.
So going back to the Prem, so the final of the Champions League is going to be 2 weeks away from the start of the Premier League, which is absolutely crazy because like usually there's like 3 months and all these transfers and all this waiting, and plus every 3 days there's a Premier League game, and like there's Bundesliga, there's La Liga, there's all this shit. So it's just nice to like have all these games on, you know.
Yeah, honestly, I like. If there wasn't supposed to be the Euro Cup, like I was telling you the other day, I literally hate that one summer between the Euro Cup and the World Cup when you don't have any football.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the worst.
Exactly.
I mean, we would have had Euro Cup anyway, but like I'm honestly so thankful that they brought back those what's it called, all the leagues right now.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a
hopefully
bummer.
In the future we're gonna be so caught up in our work and shit that won't even affect us, that it will just like not even affect us, that like we're so bored that like nothing is there. But I do also still agree with you.
What are you talking about, man? Football always.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I would just like to think to myself that
one day
I'm just so content because like I can admit to myself that I'm not as happy as content as I would like to be, but I know that I will be there someday because I'm always working for the best. But it's not about me anyway right now. Yeah, just I think it's a good. I like to preach into giving positive ideas to people and positive ways of thinking, and so I might have like a couple of these moments, of just an interpretation of the mind of Majidinho, and I'll pass it over to the mind of Alice Lavaboy to give me your interpretation, man. Whatever you want, man.
I'm a little confused right now.
You don't gotta be confused, man. Just speak out of your soul. We have a lot of topics. Okay, so one topic that you said is like marriage and age of marriage and just the concept of it in general. Like I forgot the right concept.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously both come from very...
Since we're not social distancing anymore.
No, we gotta wait that one out.
Bruh, what do you mean?
One more day. Trust.
Okay, well, I guess I'm taking this because I already smoked it.
That's my cartridge?
Yeah. But bro, your mom said it's official.
Yeah?
Yeah. So give me your jewel, bitch.
Fuck.
And plus, I just kissed your mic.
Is that my mic?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, come on, talk about your idea.
So I was just wondering, I wanted to hear your approach about like what you think about what age you think marriage, what age do you think you would want to get married? Do you want to get married? Do you agree? Well, fuck it, let's start.
First I'm gonna start off by saying I don't have like a very strong opinion on this, so it's not gonna be as intense as my other years. Second of all, when I was younger, in Rose, like back when I was in love with a girl whose name I won't mention, but you know who you are. It's cool, we're friends. Yeah, I wanted to get married like straight after graduating university because I thought I was gonna like just have just like be at a place where I thought I wanted to be, but obviously things change every year and just in life. Now I'm 23, 24. I still think that not the ideal. I think it's cool to get married at a young age if you have your shit together and your like job and you're making a steady flow of money. If you want to get a family started at a young age, obviously now I'm not ready. I still have a lot of shit to work on, but I know for a fact I don't want to wait. I mean, like as I said, my mind is always changing, but I would like to think that I don't want to get married at too of a late age because I would like to think, not I want to, because like I'm always changing my mind and shit, but I want to have a family like soon. Not soon,
so
but
it's,
like,
for you it's family based then?
Yeah, and the girl being the right girl at the right time, like.
Well, that's where like my idea comes in about so I don't want to even get into another serious relationship until I'm in my early 30s even possibly later, because I seriously believe that you change so much all the time. Like, look at us now
100%.
from 18 years old. Yes, like we still are very similar in some ways, and like the way we portray ourselves to the world and all that. But like the way you actually think and like your view on life. Think about how
and
much
you never think that you would ever like change your views sometimes.
Exactly. So think about how much you change, and then basically think about how much your perspective of like what you love, or like what if I found a girl right now that I love, for all I know, 4 years from now I'm going to be such a different human that I'm like, it just wouldn't make sense for me to fall in love with this girl unless she had the exact correct trajectory with what I would love in 4 years. And so, I mean, the chances are very small, and I just don't want to put myself through like that emotional attachment and having to just like not let go of someone in your life. Like, you can still be in contact, but like it's always going to be weird, unfortunately. And like, it's just not something that I even want again. Like, I want to know who I am. I mean, obviously, I just feel like it's gonna, like you say, you always think you know who you are at that point, but we're so young. Like
that's like the mentality I used to have. But as of recently, and I think you're like this too. You know, this jewel is making me like forget shit. But these days, I'm more willing to accept the idea that I know that my views are gonna change, and like I'm, like you said, like being humble and like not knowing that. Fuck, man. Do you know what I mean, man? I was gonna say something, but like.
I mean, maybe you were saying like you know that your views are gonna change, so like you're prepared for that. But like that kind of goes against my logic then.
Being
like,
humble and like. Or not knowing. Remember the shit we talked about, like not
knowing what you don't know.
Yeah, and like how that makes you wise.
Well, it makes you wise in the sense that it makes you wise in the sense that you're so open to change. In the sense of like, you know, we were talking about if the whole world went vegan right now, how it would be so much better for pollution and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it would create new problems.
But for all we know, in that happening,
it could create new problems.
It could create like completely new problems.
And then we came to a disagreement where like. I thought maybe that fuck, why am I like I can't speak, bro. I'm going crazy. My ideas are just like going out of me. Speak.
Yeah, no. I mean, once again, I just think on the marriage front, you just have to completely wait till you're a solidified human. For me, that doesn't mean finance. That doesn't mean peace in. Or I guess it would mean like peace in your heart. But like that can take so long to reach. For all I know, like, you know, I have no idea where the fuck like I'm gonna be at. Like, if I were to get married in a year from now, say I fell in love tomorrow, we dated and it was like perfect. For all I know, you know, 4 years from now, just because, not because she's any worse or not because she changed, but maybe I'm gonna change so drastically, and I just don't want to have that whole commitment and then just lose someone who, you know, I can't even fathom being married versus in a long-term relationship. And you know, the longest I've done is just over a year and a half. So.
Okay, we don't have a huge sign and the 2 mics and all that shit, but that's coming.
Also, like, I love how it's just gotten darker and darker because the light's coming.
Yeah.
You see if that light works?
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
Fuck, this is the most time.
Yo, fuck it, so you wanna just end it right here, Alex?
I guess.
I mean, like, we can talk about this other shit later because they're pretty big topics. Oh, let's talk about the funny shit about City Discord again. About how the K-pop band BTS, or I don't know if it was BTS, but
I think it's just K-pop fans in general.
Yeah, I know BTS donated $1 million to BLM, which is super cool because like you would have thought that like the non-Western societies, like where like Chinese are racist, like that shit about Muslims and stuff. We'll talk about it in the next podcast.
Oh yeah, that's a bit rough.
But it's funny because they bought. There was supposed to be what 400,000 people there.
No. Supposedly there were 1 million people. I think it was like a 20,000 seat arena or something.
Yeah.
And only like half of it was filled up because
these
tons of K-pop fans basically bought like bought tons of tickets.
Sold out, and the cool thing is that Donald Trump and his whole team had no idea, and like you know they're so on point with their data and shit, so it must have been really well planned from Korea, you know. Which
I have
Is it
no
Korea?
idea
Yeah,
how
it's
that
Korea.
works. Yeah, it's Korea.
And it's fucking hilarious for the people who hate Trump, you know. Fuck you if you love Trump.
Bro, you can't do that.
I mean, like whatever, bro. Like we love him, but.
Yeah, you throw his name out to the world, people are fucking savage.
Okay, well then we'll blur it out.
Yeah, I tried to educate him.
But yeah, no, it's funny because like Donald Trump was so embarrassed, and Chris was telling me this, and he said you could see it in his face, and the whole day like he was just like he felt embarrassed, and I was telling him, but like Donald Trump doesn't seem to like I don't see him being the person that is very affected by embarrassment because he says so much ridiculous shit. But Chris was like, no, like this really hit him. So that's what I have to say.
It's the things that hit his ego aren't like what he says. He's not embarrassed by what he does. He's embarrassed about how he's perceived, or he's just embarrassed by like numbers and statistics and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like that's what takes a toll on him. He's just a fucking psychopath. I mean, absolute psychopath.
And I don't think Donald Trump's winning the election.
I unfortunately do. You know.
You know what? Let's talk about Trump another one. I think would you like to add anything? Should we add another segment right now because we've talked about some pretty good stuff?
I don't know, bro. We literally just went on. We were talking so inconsistently about stuff.
I want to talk about that in another podcast because I have a lot to say.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to write out your fucking points because you jump around so much. Imagine you lost me so much there.
I know.
I didn't know you were jumping around like a fucking.
And that's something that I have to work on. But it's.
I mean, yeah, it's not a problem. It like brings so much of your creativity and your fun that everyone loves from you. It's just like.
Oh shucks.
But like doing this with you right now, I don't know. I just was trying to keep up with your mind, and I'm pretty ADD.
Yeah, I mean, I understood most of what you said.
What I said, I mean, I wasn't doing a bad job.
Yeah.
Not to be mean, because you were doing a great job and you were leading it, but you lost me big time at some points. So we definitely, I think.
But in a way, it's good because I know that you understand me than most people. So anybody else sitting in that seat would be like 100 times more lost.
Yeah. That's true. That is very true. But
I hope y'all understand me, and if you don't, go fuck yourself. No, I'm kidding.
But
you're supposed to laugh earlier to like release the tension, bro. Now they're just gonna hate me.
What's new, bro? It took me like 2 years to like you. I fucking hated you.
Yeah,
so
true.
Much time.
That's so true.
It's because I thought you were like. You were like trying super hard to be this person. Like I thought you were like pretending to be like.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Like when I meet people, they still do think that shit.
Exactly. So
and that's why the world is fucked up because I'm just trying to be an honest motherfucker.
Yeah, but a bunch of people aren't like you and are fucking tryhards. So I'm just cautious as fuck because I fucking hate.
Shout out COVID.
Okay, you lost me there again.
Hashtag cautious.
Oh, wear your masks. You don't know who you're affecting. Seriously, you're affecting. The mask isn't for you if you're not scared, it's for other people. Also, it's completely lost focus.
Alright, well, fuck it, let's just end it there.
Next time we're going to talk about ADHD, mental health.
I don't know if we'll post this on YouTube or not because it's a good, like, rough draft and shit, but, and also, like, as Alex said, it's a bit unorganized, but we'll look at it. Maybe we'll post it. If we do, like, subscribe, whatever all those YouTubers say, you know. We're different, that's for sure. And... Cheese!